I'm Lauren van der Vyver, and I am the product architect in the program management team at Mix in CSO. All right, I started at Mix in 2007 as an assistant accountant in the finance department. I was employed by Willem, so I think he also was only at Mix 2 or 3 months at the time. So he's been at Mix as long as I have. So he and Rory employed me in the first place as an assistant accountant. At the time that I started at Mix, it actually wasn't even Mix, it was Control Instruments Omnibridge, and I was in the unfortunate position of being at Mix during many name changes. And if you work in finance, you know that that's quite a tricky thing when you're coming to invoicing and payments and all that type of thing. So yeah, I've been around a really long time. I moved into Mix Telematics Enterprise actually when Mix split up into the two different, there was Mix Telematics International and Enterprise, and I went with Enterprise and I worked in the finance department there, where I looked after the creditors team for quite a while, and I did the monthly accounts and things like that. And after working for about 5 years, I really loved Mix and the products and that type of thing, and I really wanted to be involved in where the action happened. So I applied internally for a business analyst position, which I got. So I moved into the software development team, I think it was in about 2012. At the time, I was the only business analyst, and yeah, it was interesting. I sort of moved around the teams and you know, sort of slotted in where I thought best, and I really enjoyed it. And the role changed and grew with me. And later on, we ended up employing more business analysts, and they later became product owners. So I've been at Mix really long. I've worked through. I was around for the inception of what people call Dynamics. So I was involved in the development of that back in 2013 and 2014, where a team of us went off to the Woodmill. And now I actually look after the product owner team. I'm in a product architect role where I'm more involved in the strategic projects. I help figure out how the new concepts that come in fit into the business and how we would implement them. And then the product owner team takes that from me to take it through the execution phase and the final planning and all of that. Sure. So I can tell you it's many things. You really feel valued at Mix. I love the people and the company culture and the environment. That's very important to me. You've got to feel like you're at home. And I always have. And in my particular role, the products and the services that we provide to our customers are really, really interesting. So it's always fresh and new. So it's not like you're stuck on some boring old project. It's always something exciting and new that's coming along. You get to really be creative and come up with really exciting and innovative stuff. So yeah, I think that's why I think Mix is going to have me around for many, many more years still. Tell you, everyone in our team are absolutely the best at what they do. We specifically look when we're looking for people, we look always for the absolute right fit for the team. It's quite difficult to employ excellent product owners and people that really want to be excellent product owners, and that's very important to us. So everyone in the team is, you know, just absolutely super. And everyone's got a really nice, healthy competition with each other. So, you know, everyone wants to just create the best products and services for our customers, and you know, everyone puts their best foot forward. There's no one that you would say they're like letting the side down. A normal day, I don't know if that exists. So basically, that's one of the things that I love about the role. It's different every day. In my particular role, I'm working on different projects in different phases. So sometimes it's in concept phase. So I'll be working with the product management team, Glenn's team, and external stakeholders to understand requirements around a specific topic. Then I get to spend some time actually designing stuff sometimes, so that's great. My children say I draw pictures. They're not far wrong. I do draw pictures, so wireframing, prototyping what our new applications or products could look like, just to demonstrate some of the ideas that I have. I spend a lot of time then validating the ideas with the different stakeholders. And usually that's a really great way to get input in about whether you're on the right track or not. So when I describe something to you, what you picture and what I picture might not necessarily be the same thing. But when you show them a picture, like it'll look like this and it'll work like that, it's very easy to get feedback and everyone's on the same page. So I draw pictures for a living. I get to be quite creative. And it's really great. One of my favorite things is really solving a really difficult and complex problem. The harder the better. It's got to be challenging. So I really enjoy a challenging project, something when you look at it, you think like, oh, how are we ever going to deliver something like that? Really to be able to break it down, understand it, and understand what all the pieces are to deliver that. So yeah, and then I work with the product owners as well, with various different projects at different levels. So each of the product owners run their own projects through development. And I work with the development teams as well, which is absolutely great. I at Mix think, quite honestly, I have the best job. No offense to anyone else. But I get to work with the stakeholders, understanding what they require, and I have to translate that into requirements that the development team understand, so they can also understand what the customers need from us, and then putting that into a plan that they are able to deliver and execute on. So yeah, every day is different, and we work with different regions. So in the mornings you're working with the guys in Australia, and in the afternoons you're chatting to the guys in Brazil and US. So yeah, every day is exciting, and no day is ever the same. Sure. So there've been many, but I think the highlights would probably be the pulling off Dynamics. So in 2013, I think it started off with Russell with these. He had a brainwave around how we're going to move forward with our applications and things like that. And the idea that came about at the time was the only way we're going to be able to replace what we have is if we, basically stop all new development and build something new. So they took 50%, and I don't know how many people watching this will know this, but in 2013, they took the software development department and they split it in two, and they sent half of the software development team, including Russell, Zoe, and myself, and we went to a place that wasn't the office. They sent us to, it was actually in an industrial area, and they rented an office there, and we set up office like a complete startup, all in a room with training tables and desks. And there we had to redesign, redevelop our fleet platform, which people call Dynamics. It's actually called Mix Fleet Manager, and the project was called Dynamics, but people think the software is called Dynamics. And just taking everything that we had to replace, figuring out how it would work, planning it, delivering it. It was really like a well-oiled machine, and it's probably one of the highlights and one of the things I'll never forget. It's probably the hardest I've ever worked, but it really was rewarding. I think the relationships that we built with the team that was there at the time can never be undone. So we've all got like this, I don't know if PTSD or a special bond, if it's the same thing, but we all will remember, and there's a lot of us left from that day, that time. So but it's something that is actually more of a funny story, and I think in 15 years you've got many of them, but I thought I would share a recent one. So my team and we're big on gifts, and in fact when we interview people, we ask people how they feel about gifts. But I've learned the hard way that if you're sending someone a gift, then you must always watch it to the end. All right, so I think a little bit earlier in the year, it was Rory's birthday, and I decided to send him a happy birthday gift. And I sent it, and I saw that he read it, and then he started typing and stopped, and I was like, I wonder what's going on. So I decided to play the gift, and it looked like a picture of a cake with little candles on it. And I'm like, well, how tame can that be? I mean, surely it should be fine. So I watched it, and then there was a candle, and the candles were flickering on the cake, and that was great. And then a little dog jumped out the top of the cake. I was like, okay, well, that's interesting, but okay, that's fine. And then the little dog jumped out, and he held up a sign, and it said, I love you. And I promise you, I just wanted to die. I just think company culture, especially in today's world where everyone works from home, is so important. So anyone looking to work at a company now, I would seriously consider that as like one of the topics. And whenever I interview someone, I want to understand, what do they expect from a company culture? Because you don't want to start at a new company and be alone, and especially when everyone's on a screen, and very seldom do you get to meet your colleagues in person. So I think that's what I would add. Mix brings quite a lot of culture. We try to be inclusive and be welcoming and have everyone feel part of the team, even though everyone works remotely. And I think that's very important to me. And and I think it should be important to anyone who's out there looking for a career. The HR team, Dylan especially, they work very hard on welcoming new members. So it's always great on the first of the month to see information and see all the details about all the new people. I love reading. I read each and every single email to see where everyone's from and their background. It's great to see who's joining Mix. So I think that's really wonderful. And from the people that I've heard that have joined the team recently, they felt really welcome. The take-on process is super smooth, so I think that's excellent. But in terms of team dynamic, I think the different teams have different dynamics, but one of the things that we are trying to do at Mix is we have a culture club where we meet once every 2 or 3 weeks, where we try and come up with things to try and make it fun for people at Mix. So we always at least try and have an activity every month that everyone can get involved in, get together with on a social level, so that it's not just all about work. It's fun for the people on the Culture Club committee, but hopefully it's fun for everyone else who also gets to join. First and foremost, to me, and I think attitude is absolutely everything. I think a lot of skills you can learn, but attitude you can't. You've got to absolutely have the right attitude. You've got to have you have to want to design and develop excellent products for our customers. So I think that's first and foremost. If that can come across really strongly, that'll be in your favor. One of the reasons it's excellent, or the reason I would say you would want to work at Mix in the product owner role, is the products and the services are so exciting. I had an interview the other day where someone asked, so do you do anything other than fleet management? And then I was immediately like, well, it's a lot more than fleet management. Basically, we design and develop tools that our customers absolutely cannot live without, and you want to delight them while they're using them. So the products and services that we design solve so many problems for customers in many different market verticals all around the world. And it's not just fleet management. Fleet management is just the tip of the iceberg. It's so much more. And you get to work with lots of exciting products. You get to work with people all around the world with different requirements in different flavors, sometimes similar, sometimes a little bit different. You get to solve complex problems, but the reward is just so worth it. And the other thing is, when we're looking for a product owner, we're looking for someone who really wants to design excellent products, that must be their love, solving problems, solving customer problems, trying to make their lives a lot easier, and that must be what they want to do. So yeah, I think that would be it.